Okay, over here in the lathe, okay, I put my sharpest bit in there. It's got about a 15th radius on it. We'll use that. This here is in the tool. I bottomed out in the back here, so hopefully it's relatively straight. But it probably is not perfect, so I'm going to try to dial in a little bit closer. Let's see how far off we are. About 5 thou out. So. One. See what you're doing here. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting it from the bottom. This is up going this way. So when it dropped down below the average number, you start hitting the bottom. So it comes up. Come up about halfway. Oop, that was easy. Alright. Pretty close right now. We got a bad spot there in the bottom, it looks like. Right next to number 1. Now over number 3 went too far. Go back to 1 again. Hit it hard enough to move, see? Alright, that's pretty close. So now we're going to get about a 1/4 thou out. Yeah, 1/2 thou. Got a bad spot in there. Close enough for us. We don't care. Okay, so now we can go ahead and turn this smooth. Well, not smooth, but straight. At least that's the game plan. So I don't know how hard this tool is. Check my height. It looks like we're vertical, so that means we're pretty close. Push the bit against the part on the edge, it'll tangent either up or down depending on where you are on your height of your bit. When you're vertical, you know you're pretty good. Okay, if this is hard, it's going to tear up this bit. If it's soft, it'll cut it. So we'll see what happens. Either way, it'll cut it. It's just you're going to have a bunch of sparks or not. Cut pretty evenly. Okay. So now we have like about a 15th radius in that thing, which is enough. Now if I plunge it in a little bit, it'll be less than that if I want to do that. It appears to be relatively soft material. They didn't really heat treat it all that much, so we're probably okay. I think I'm alright with a 15 thou radius. I don't care, the case should have probably that much in it. If not, we'll make it that much. Okay, so now let's go see how screwed up it is. Let's see here. So we're on the wrong side of the case, aren't we? Oops. Appears to be sitting pretty flat now. Just drops right in there. Very, very little movement. That's probably the movement on here. Yeah, a little bit on both. How much in play we got? Okay, see how we got side to side clearance? That means we have clearance in that. So there you go. So now we have a little bit of clearance built in. That means it should work now, if we're lucky. Now we take it, flip it over. So once again, we've got to modify Jim's tool in order to work correctly. Okay, now this has a lot of very rough area on here, which is going to want to re-gull up into the case as we do this. So we need to get rid of this a little bit. So we take our honing stone here. Here it is. So this is our honing stone. I'm going to hone the OD of this a little bit to knock off the high spots. I'm using my flat side, which is the side I use for my mill. Just keep it nice and flat like this. Here's a high spot. All right. So now you can still see the marks, but you don't feel them. Feels nice and smooth now going around. So it's not going to re-gull up in that same spot. We took off the high spot. The low spot doesn't hurt you, it's the high spots that cause problems. That was that big spot right there we probably heard. Let's make sure that is down there pretty good. Yeah, I feel a low spot when I go across. I don't really feel a high spot. Okay, so this is ready to go back in. So we're going to put this bad spot on the top so it pushes all the way through it until it gets to that. If you push that side directly down, it might grab and gull up the whole way again. So we can put it on the other direction. See what happens. Alright, so this goes in here like that. Pilots in. And just push down on it. Same way again, we just did. I don't know if you can see in there or not. It's hard to get it, we can see. Alright. About 4.5 to 5 tons. Bearings bearing's now in there. A little bit from the inside edge like it's supposed to be. And it rotates nice and freely. The rotation and slide. Alright. I don't have a crank right here to use, but I know where there's one at. There's one in that other motor over there. Alright, so we got this going. So he needs to do something about his cam bearings. So we're going to let him decide what he wants to do about those. I'm not using those other ones. If he wants them in there, he can put them in there himself. Okay, so let me get this other one apart, and then we'll check the crank in this one. So let me get this stuff put away. Okay, next one. So we can get the crank out of here. We can check these bearings here. But for now, this one's done. Get him out of the way. Move on to number 2. Well, actually, this is number 1. I just did 2 first. See how to cut this one down to clear the case? That's because this is a bigger motor. Bigger bore. It's a 1/17 4 1/8 bore instead of a 4-inch bore over here, which is a 110. Okay, so this case here has just a little bit of clearance in it. Not much. Got more now I used it. So just put a little bit on there, which is good. This case over here does not move. See how the crank and lift up on it doesn't move? There you go. Get a little thump. That's about it. It's tight. Came off a lot easier than it used to. Still got oil coming out of this one, see? So those need to be cleaned up yet. Okay, so we're going to see how this fits in this motor. So, first one is the left case. Clearance. Hoping for more, but a little bit. There, went all the way down that time. Yeah, when it slid down, it got a little bit looser. Good. Still kind of snug for racing. Now when you move the crank, so they ain't got much in it either this way. I'd like to see more movement. Still a little bit on the tight side for me. At least it slides on and off. This one goes right on, which is always a plus. So it's got a lot of clearance in it. like to see it on the other side, but I don't. So rotate it forward. You want to make sure it's not screwing. Screwing means it goes either that way or this way as you rotate it. This one here, when you turn the crank, it would screw all the way to the right. Really bad, because it was binding. So I just went the forward direction and didn't have any movement. I'm going to go backwards and see if it screws that way. If we get no screwing action, that means it's pretty good. Appears to be staying put. Should have some in-play in it. Oh yeah. You see it slides real nice and easy, which is good also. Alright. So these main bearings here will work. So that's what we need to know. But you can't have this crank. It's for a different model. Early crank, late case doesn't work. Yeah. Pull the right side off first, not the left, I guess. Alright, why is it binding up? Why is it fighting me? It's all the way to the left, like it should be. Should just slide right off. Of course it doesn't want to. You're not a happy camper. Here, get more happy. You just wanted to be beat on, that's all. Okay, so that one's good. Okay, all this stuff needs to be cleaned up. These ones are already clean. Put all the bolts in the correct case. They don't get mixed up. Put the ugly ones on top, except for the one that I cut. They all appear to be here. Wonderful. So now that this is nice and clean, we got to keep this in a nice clean area. We'll probably stick into a baggie so I don't get any grit and crap in it. Or more important, the customer won't be putting a bunch of dirt and crap into it. Because everything else he's got is full of dirt and crap. Looks like they work out of a barn. They didn't clean very well. The rat will have to have a new place to have a home now. This one has rat turds in it. Alright, so there we go. That one's all done for now. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with it. And the cylinders are all cleaned up too, so I'll bag those things up also. And then we'll see what he wants me to do. I know he's going to want me to put this piece of crap together, but I don't want to do that. Alright, that's it for now on this one.